Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Purple Conversations. I hope you are having an amazing week. You know that you are fully seen, fully known, fully loved, covered and blessed. This week I want to dive right in. We're talking about relationships. And are you ready for what you're asking for? Are you ready to do the work? Are you really understanding the small steps that need to happen for this big idea that you have and this big desire that you have? Now, nothing's wrong with wanting all the things that you want. There's nothing wrong with having these checklists and stuff. But also you have to be open that those might go right out the window, because what you need and what you want may not always be the same thing. And the things you need to do to maintain the things you want will require you to come out of your comfort zone, to be selfless, and to put in the work. Because the same way we put in work for our jobs, the same way we put in work for school, the same way we put in the work to get all these other things that we're trying to achieve, why are we not being as intentional about doing the self-work and the relational work? People always think therapy, you wait until the end of a relationship or things are going so badly, that's when you involve therapy, or that's when you involve these tools. That should be something you're doing for yourself before you even get into a relationship, and that's something that should be happening when you're in the relationship. That's something that should be happening when you get married. That's something should be happening when you have children, because at every stage you have become. Every stage requires a different version of you. Every stage has different needs. Every stage is going to require somebody else to show up for you differently, and your capacity to show up for others. So if we're not having these vulnerable, real conversations to understand that who I met, who I fell in love with, who I decided to go into a relationship with is not going to be the same person 2 years down the line, even a year down the line, 6 months down the line, depending on what's happening in your relationship, depending on what's happening to the individual, depending on what's happening to you. Are you prepared for the growth that's going to be required of you and the growth that's going to happen in them, or the stagnation? Are you okay with them never growing if they never grow? So we have to ask ourselves, we have this grand idea. I want to be in a relationship. I want a partner. I want somebody who is going to value me. I want somebody who I can rely on. I want somebody who's going to ease my burdens. Okay, these are all grand ideas. What does that mean on an everyday level? What does that mean on an emotional level? What does that mean on a physical level? What does that mean? What does that look like day to day? Because to get that grand idea, for that picture to be an ever-flowing, ever-growing image, and something that you live in and not something that's a fairy tale, we have to do the small things. It's about, am I being intentional about staying in communication? Am I being intentional about how I talk to this person? Am I being intentional about the frequency? Am I being intentional about learning their language and the way they receive the things that I have to say? Am I being intentional about verbalizing what I need and not having these internal unmet expectations that I'm not saying, then harboring disappointment when they don't meet these needs that I never verbalized? Then what do I do when I have verbalized them and they're not capable of meeting them? Not that they're not willing, they're just not capable. Do they have the capacity for that? Do I have the capacity to show up for what this person needs and what they're asking for? And we also need to be comfortable with knowing that just because this person is a good person doesn't mean they're a good partner for me. They may be a good partner for somebody else. I may be a good partner for somebody else. But that doesn't make us bad people. We're just not the right people. And we need to know that that's okay. It's okay to meet wonderful, amazing people who have all the qualities, and I do in the air quotes, but they have all the qualities on paper that I want, but somehow it's not transitioning in the relationship. And then we try to demonize the person or make it that something's wrong with you or something's wrong with them, and it just simply mean we're just not right for each other, and that's okay. I'm no less of a person, you're no less of a person. We're just not right for each other. And we can honor each other by appreciating the people we are, appreciating the values that we have, and knowing that it's okay to go our separate ways without there being animosity and hard feelings or feeling like this was a waste of time. No, this was an educational experience that we shared, and that's okay. And likewise, sometimes it may just require patience. Sometimes it may just require a willingness on both parties to understand, again, having these micro conversations to achieve a macro outcome. The minor conversations are, how do you need me to show up for you? Then being honest with yourself, am I capable of doing that? Not just doing it periodically, but am I capable of sustaining that? Am I capable of sustaining the things that I'm asking for, looking for? Can I show up as the person that I'm asking to show up for me? Am I able to show up for my partner when they are at a low and I'm also at a low? Will I have the capacity to show up for them, and will they have the capacity to show up for me? I think one of the greatest challenges I am seeing and hearing, having these conversations, is everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, the people that I have encountered and the mindset that I have seen prevalent is everybody's looking for, what can I get? Everybody's like, but I need them to do this for me. I needed this. This is what I need, and they didn't hear me. This is what I need, and that's absolutely necessary as well. But what I hear very little of is, I showed up willing to serve. I showed up willing to be this person, do these things, not because I have a inherent expectation in my head that if I do this, then there must be reciprocal energy in the way that I want it, and if it's not being done, then I'm going to cut off all these other things. If our mindset going into a relationship is not automatically, I am here to serve, and I derive joy from serving. And again, this can't be a one person. It can't just be one person in the relationship who is willing to serve and the other person is only willing to take. That's imbalance. That's never going to work. There's going to be abuse. Period. That formula is the only outcome you're going to get. If you only have one person willing to give, one person is only willing to take, you are going to equal abuse. Period. So if both persons' mindset is not, how do I serve you? How do I enhance your life? How do I bring you joy? How do I take something off your plate? How do I be the best partner for you? How do I show up for you here? When do I need to give you space? When do I need to be full force? When do I need to be protective? When do I need to be a presence? All relationships require these things, because what I need from you in the beginning of a relationship may not be what I need from you when we start living together. May not be what I need from you when we get married. May not be what I need from you when we have children. And it may go back to needing what I needed from you in the beginning. Are you willing to walk that road with your partner? Are you willing to understand that there's going to be ebbs and flows on both ends? It is a give situation. People always say give and take. It's a give, because if you're giving and I'm giving, then we're both full. If you're willing to adjust and I'm willing to adjust, and we're compromising, and not compromising in values, but compromising in circumstantial, compromising in the way we show up for each other, then if both our mindsets are like that, if we have identified that yes, we are indeed compatible, but we need some work in these areas, and we're willing to put in the work, we will have much more successful relationships, a lot less trauma, a lot less divorces, because I'm so for marriage, I'm so for love, I'm so for unity. But I want us to stop long enough to say, the grand idea that I have, am I doing the work on the small levels, the small steps? Am I the macro idea? Am I doing the minor things to achieve that? And that will help us to tweak how we enter these relationships and how we sustain them. I love you. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing week. And do your work. I love you.